Every morning, millions of Americans over 60 start their day the same way. Coffee, toast, maybe a little fruit. But what if that routine is hurting your brain? Doctors are now warning, certain foods eaten right after waking up may trigger brain inflammation, especially in older adults. That means higher risks of memory problems, confusion, even stroke. You might not notice it at first, but it's there. It doesn't happen overnight. But one day, you're sitting on your front porch, coffee in hand, staring at the trees, and your mind just blanks. You forget what you came outside for. You pause to remember someone's name, someone you've known for years. This isn't just about aging, and it's not something you should ignore. Doctors are beginning to trace these symptoms back to something as simple and as overlooked as breakfast. Not what you eat at lunch, not dinner, but the first 15 minutes of your day, the foods you think are helping, may be setting you back. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. Nancy is 67. She used to teach history at the local high school. Sharp mind, organized, always 2 steps ahead. Every Saturday, she still goes to the farmer's market downtown. She walks, she chats, she buys fresh peaches. But lately things have changed. Last week, she left her house keys in the fridge. She forgot a friend's birthday and couldn't remember if she had eaten lunch. Her daughter got worried. Nancy said, "Maybe I'm just tired." But a routine blood test showed something else. High markers of brain inflammation. Doctors explained, certain foods, especially refined grains, sweetened yogurts, and processed spreads, can trigger inflammation in aging brains. Especially when eaten in the early morning, when glucose spikes hit harder and the brain is still waking up. For older adults, this can slow memory, blur focus, and in some cases, set the stage for silent strokes. So what were those foods doing to Nancy, and what should she avoid tomorrow morning? The first food on the list seems harmless, even healthy: flavored yogurts. They're easy, quick, and often marketed as gut-friendly. Nancy kept hers stacked in the fridge. Peach, vanilla, blueberry, one every morning with coffee. But here's the problem. Most of those little cups contain over 15 grams of added sugar. That's more than a tablespoon before 8 a.m. And sugar first thing in the morning is a silent disruptor. It causes blood glucose to spike sharply, especially in aging bodies. But the real danger is in the brain. Glucose surges create oxidative stress, tiny chemical reactions that inflame a brain tissue over time. The result? Memory fog, slower thinking, and in vulnerable brains, increased risk of microdamage, the kind that doesn't cause pain, but adds up day after day until one morning you forget something big, or worse, suffer a silent stroke. Nancy didn't know. She thought she was doing something right. And that's the trap. These foods look healthy, but inside the brain, they act like fuel on an open wound. Here's another one, and this one shocked even me. The second one is a breakfast classic in most American homes. Whole grain toast with margarine. It sounds balanced. Nancy made it every day before heading to the store or driving her grandkids. Just one slice, a little margarine, maybe a sprinkle of cinnamon. She thought it was a safe choice, better than butter, better than white bread. But here's what the label doesn't tell you. Most store-bought whole grain breads are made with refined flour and hidden sugars. The fiber is stripped out. What's left digests quickly, flooding the bloodstream, just like a sugary cereal would. And margarine? Many brands still contain partially hydrogenated oils, trans fats. Even in small amounts, these fats have been linked to cognitive decline, memory loss, and inflammation. For the aging brain, it's like pouring sludge into a delicate engine. Over time, this combo can trigger low-grade neuroinflammation. You don't feel it, but it slows recall, dulls your focus, and weakens the blood vessels that protect your brain from long-term Damaged. Nancy thought she was choosing the healthier fat, but every slice was adding stress to a brain already under pressure. And now, the one most people think is completely safe. And now, the one that surprises almost everyone. Orange juice. Especially the kind labeled 100% pure, or no sugar added. Nancy never skipped it. She'd pour a cold glass first thing, sip it slowly while reading the news. It felt like the right thing to do, full of vitamin C, bright, refreshing. But fruit sugars in liquid form hit the bloodstream faster than most people realize. Even without added sugar, that juice is highly concentrated. One glass can contain the sugar of 3 or 4 whole oranges without the fiber. And without fiber, there's no buffer. Your body absorbs it like candy, quickly and all at once. That sugar rush? It creates a sharp glucose spike. And in older adults, that can trigger a cascade of brain stress. Inflammatory markers go up. Blood vessels in the brain become more fragile. And neurons, the cells that store your memories, get overwhelmed. It doesn't cause pain. It doesn't feel dangerous. But over time, this daily habit can quietly erode your mental clarity. Nancy had no idea. To her, it was just juice. But to her brain, it was another small attack every morning. So what happens when you take these out and choose smarter options instead? When Nancy stopped eating those 3 foods, it didn't take long to notice. The brain fog that hovered over her mornings, it began to lift, slowly at first, like fog fading under morning sun. She said her thoughts felt sharper. Her focus returned. And the little things, like remembering why she walked into a room, stopped being a struggle. Her daughter noticed. 2. Nancy was more alert, more present. She even started journaling again, something she hadn't done in years. It wasn't magic. It was biology. By removing the foods that quietly inflamed her brain, she gave her body the chance to repair, clear the noise, and reconnect. And every morning now, she sips her coffee on the front porch with a calm she hadn't felt in a long time. If that's what you want, here's what to do next. The foods we trust the most can sometimes do the most harm, quietly, over time. If you're over 60, what you eat at 7 a.m. could be the difference between a sharp mind and a brain struggling to keep up. It's not just about memory. It's about protecting your independence, your relationships, your ability to enjoy a slow walk through the farmer's market without getting lost in your thoughts. Don't ignore the early signs. They may be silent, but they speak volumes. Don't keep this to yourself. Someone you know could be at risk. Send this to a friend, a parent, a neighbor.